Hi
Ready?
everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives channel. Tonight we are going to be playing Hero System 6th Edition, aka Champion 6th Edition. We are going to be playing a campaign called Chaotic Origins. I'm your host, Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle on the boards. With me is my co-host, Brandon Powers. Please say hi.
Howdy, howdy.
He is also our GM for the evening. And playing along with me will be Aldo Regalado
Hello.
and Timothy Lemaster.
Hey there.
So, let's get started.
I think y'all a bunch of damn cowards. I don't think you got any balls at all. I think you're a bunch of mama's boy living out there doing your sister, and you ain't got the guts to come down here and face me. Why don't you show me your superiority? Boy.
I think that's a perfect forget Alice's lightning calculator. I think that's a perfect start
That's
to
awesome.
Alice's favorite plan, or at least the one that she's most noted for in one of our games was sending the dwarf out between two ogres who wanted them to cook dinner and then yelling "now" as the plan to jump. And I mean, it's right on that level. Is like this is the best start ever. The dwarf, unfortunately, in that situation, didn't realize that was the plan.
There's a longer story to that, but anyways. And there was a longer story to that, but that story works in itself better than if I told the long version.
I also I've had at least an awesome time role playing, getting to a little feel for the way different people are approaching their characters and such. And so I'm going to give everybody a second hero point for being so entertaining thus far. And we are. It sounds like Jim basically, is hauling up to the door after the two of you are getting into position. And like I said, so much for needing a lightning calculator to time when everybody's actions are going to go off. Jim calling everybody and their mother sisters out is the perfect start point. All right, so Jim, you walk up the field of debris on the stairs. Aldo desolids and works his way through the bowels of the Metropolitan Museum of Art and just kind of looking through with his desolidified form to find where he needs to go. And you guys have agreed, the two of you agreed upon this the like I heard the large exhibit wing where you can take on two different groups at the same time, and then Alice's I guess she decided that teleportation's cool, but in true Die Hard or hostage situation fashion, nothing beats crawling through air ducts. And so she teleports through. No, it would not be a problem for you. It would be a problem for the air duct. So she teleports in, finds the air duct, and crawls through and such. And so there you are, Aldo. Looking up from underneath. At one of these guys' jeans. Alice, you're looking from an air duct. There's a large open area in this, and we're just going to go ahead and say, since the large exhibit hall, and I once again know nothing about the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it is where the Tyrannosaurus Rex is, because you just can't beat that for a big room. And Jim's going to be a ways away from the two of you guys. But he does his call out, and you hear his voice echoing throughout the complex. And so we're going to be starting at post segment 12. And let me just make certain that I have people's deck counting their lightning reflexes.
At 18.
Ghostlight, I'm seeing you at a 21. Diamond Jim at an 18. And the Scarab, I think that you're a late player with us. The Scarab, you're at a
You stopped transmitting for a sec.
Oh, the Scarab, I show you at a 9.
Yes,
We might
I'm
want
at a
to
9.
lightning reflexes you up at least with your magic or something like that. I don't know,
I'm at
but
a 9.
we'll see how this all goes. Um, and to those of you who are stealthing, go ahead and just give me your stealth rolls. Aldo, you have major bonuses from being D-solid.
Okay, I'm
Alice,
afraid. Go ahead.
Alice, I am going to give you a +1 from being in the ductwork.
Okay. So, I believe you said Aldo was first.
Yeah, go ahead, Aldo.
Yeah, define major. I rolled very poorly. I rolled a 16.
Oh, okay. Well, I am going to say that the individual that you are coming up on is not going to be surprised. He caught sight of you right before.
Okay.
But the guy on the other side of this group of hostages, basically, he has no idea.
Okay.
Because it's kind of impossible for him to perceive you going through the floor most of the time.
Okay.
And
Fair
Alice,
enough.
how about your stealth check?
Stealth. I do not have that as an actual skill.
So 8 or less everyman skill.
Yep. We should do the everyman kit again. We forgot to do that. We
Yeah,
have to do that.
provide everybody with the everyman that we're using.
I failed.
What did you get?
I got a 15.
Okay. And Alice, I'd appreciate it in your voice, but as we hear Diamond Jim call everyone and their mother, sister, daughters out at one time, Alice basically from the vent is like, "Oh my God, he so did not do just."
Did he just ask him for a soda? I can't believe he just asked him for a soda.
And the two guys that you're trying to get the drop on, has become aware of you as we enter into our combat here. Okay, so as you guys already know, I've got 15 of these more basic Bradley Falls militia. So I gave them each a name, and they go A to O. So I am going to be giving Aldo, you are coming up Aaron's pants. And you have Brett across the way from you. Alice, you have Chuck, and you have Dirk responding to you. While you guys are ready for it, I have to give our opening action to Diamond Jim's wonderful speech, and
Of course.
I by all means would like him to give me a social skill, which if he had cussing and a hollering as a skill, I would define that as appropriate.
See, you should have told me about that. I would have got it.
Oh, people can come up with whatever they want. I'll find a use for it generally. But whatever social skill gives Diamond Jim the ability to super heroically cuss people out like that. And then we're going to do a presence attack after that. This is just to maybe give you a few bonus dice.
That have to be everyman skill. Like oratory.
I'll give you a military at worst because, nobody learns to swear like they do in the military.
Yeah, I remember the cadences. Okay. Oh, shoot. All that. No, I'll just shoot it off the book. 12.
Is that fail by 1?
Yeah.
All right, so I will not go ahead and give you give you any bonuses from that. I'm going to go ahead and let's go through this. You are working completely with their psychological complications, so let's go ahead and give you 2 bonus dice for that. The violent action has not come on. I would say this is an incredible soliloquy, so let's go ahead and give you 3 bonus dice for that. They are surprised. There's going to be a bonus die. And yeah, so I think that's 6 bonus dice to your presence that I just passed you.
Also have plus 2d6 with strike and appearance.
Yes, well, they have not yet seen you. That, by all means, is going to be completely applicable once they get to you, so I'll go ahead and let you get that, too.
Okay.
How much, D6?
96.
No, because I gave you 6. You said you've got 2 for striking appearance, so that's 8, and then what's your presence?
15.
Alright, so 11d6.
Okay. Oh, give me more. Oh, well, that could have been better. 10. Yeah, I like doing this like this. 10, 20, 30. That's going to be 35.
Okay, so just gonna try and find my basic guy's presence because I know my named one.
Your named one, and then you cut out. I think you dropped your key activation.
Okay, and you have 35?
Yeah.
Hi. Alright, the guys are all suddenly, like turn. They're not really paying attention to the hostages on the floor that you guys can see, and just turn in shock and awe at this going on. Definitely flabbergasted that suddenly somebody is calling them out in such a personally hurtful way. They know their relations in such an intimate way, so it must be one of their true brethren that has turned against them. And at that point, Aldo, I think, is rising up out of the floor.
Yes, and I'm going to try to do the the way of the wisp on the guy that I'm coming up to. Right, so that's my OCV versus his DMCV. Right.
Oh, okay.
And I believe so. I believe that's how it works. So
basically, it's hard to dodge light, but
right.
Whether it grabs hold of your mind and drains you out or not.
Yes, and I rolled crappy, so I hope he has a really low DMCV. I rolled a 15.
Your dice suddenly turn against you. Maybe you've got a case of the yips that something is going on, and you're caught up in the wonder of this.
Yeah,
I like Zimilos with us in spirit. Aldo knows what I'm talking about.
What was that?
Alec is with you in spirit.
Oh, Alec, yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so this is your Way of the Wisp that you're using on it?
Yeah, so it's uses OCV against DMCV. Alright, and it's yeah.
And so what is the DMCV that you are hitting with that?
Well, my OCV?
So 11 plus your OCV, what's that?
Yeah, that's 17.
17. And you rolled a 15?
Yeah.
So you hit a DMCV of 2. 11 plus your OCV minus 3d6 gives you the DCV or DMCV.
I'm guessing I missed by at least 1.
You have connected.
Oh, I connected.
As I said to you guys in emails on character creation, is that 10 is where the heroic characters start for the base. Yeah. On the primary 6 stats, 8 is more the average, and Diamond Jim, I think, did strike the nail on the head on some of these individuals, and these Bradley Falls militia do not have the best mental defenses. They have received a 3-point refund because when God was calling out for brains, they heard it rains and hid under the table.
Perfect. Okay, so that's going to be a 2d6 entangle. Crap! I rolled 2 ones. It's unbelievable. But it's also a second. There's another 2d6 entangle as well, right? That's linked to that.
That is correct.
Okay, for that one, I rolled a 5 and a 1.
Okay, so you have a 1 body on one of your entangle. I'm trying to figure out how much that will be applied. Like I said, first time I'm really doing this. Calculate result.
Yeah, so one against
being hit by a compound attack. There we go.
Yeah.
There's one. And which resistance was that the 1 body on versus the 0?
The 1 body was versus the works against ego.
And the other one works against what?
Intelligence.
Oh, he's going to be there for a long time.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah. So he comes out of the ground, and the will-o'-the-wisp light sort of focuses in his face and grabs his attention and kind of sucks his attention to it, and he's mesmerized, right?
So the int one was that with the theme of the will-o'-the-wisp leading people and that kind of a lost and such, and then the ego was that a despair or what was the theory on?
Yes.
Okay. So all of a sudden, as that light, and he focuses up and is really caught off guard, and that light washes over him. And Alice, you're seeing this as you're starting to make your way, realizing you've really blown the element of surprise by talking about the sodas, you see that, and all of a sudden he gets this just kind of horrified look, and starts moving, and it's like he's searching for something, and he's walking around and all, but he's really not going anywhere. He's turning constantly, and so it's like he's in this same, about 2 meters or something, just kind of like trying to search and find something that he could attach to that might be okay for him to deal with.
Perfect.
And then we're moving on. Diamond Jim has done his call out, so that was his action, and he basically flabbergasted most all of them with, like I said, such a personally hurtful but insightful
call. Cry me a river of tears. They're holding hostages, they're hurting people. I ain't got no sympathy for them.
Hi, Aldo. This one from is seeing. Oh no, the one across the way didn't see you. It was the one that you just entangled. So let's see how he does on his entangle. Aye. So we'll start off with the resisting on the int. And then we'll move on to the resisting on the ego. All right, so all of a sudden, as he is moving around, he looks and gets kind of this look of clarity, and instead of the confusion and despair mix that he had, now he only has despair. And so he stops wandering around, but more kind of just like huddles down and tries to protect himself against Aldo, realizing that there is no escape. That guy was surprised. These two are going to they became aware of the scarab. Both of them pull guns, and they're like, "Hey, yous, why don't you get out of that there air duct and get out here?" Yes, people from just a little bit out of New York City that are on a militia, they sound like they are as deep redneck, south as you can get, just because. Um, and they pull their guns and they have them aimed with basically held actions at the Scarab. And Scarab, you are clear to go.
Okay.
You are in a confined space trying to get out. You do not have the earth underneath you
I
because, as we
understand.
established, there is a base.
Yep. I understand that. Um, so they seem to have a ready to action at the grates that I am seeing through.
Yes.
Okay. I put my hands up to the grates, and in my and I now need to designate my uh, neg 1 worth of limitations. So I'm actually going to put one hand up to the grate, the other hand goes to my staff. And in my confined space, I am going to concentrate on the staff and add a phase to my, add a segment. Actually, I only need to add a segment with what's left. So I'm going to add a segment to the duration as I'm slowly pushing the grate open, and I'm focusing on beaming an image into Chuck's mind. And um, in his mind, he suddenly sees his mother or grandmother going, "Now, did I teach you to disrespect women like that? Now, you be a gentleman, take those gloves off and go open the door for the kind lady." I mean, what kind of man makes a woman have to climb through a grate to see you? I mean, seriously, I taught you better than that. Take those gloves off and go open a door like a proper gentleman.
And so
I
what
am
is
casting
this?
Mirage. This is a 12d6 mental illusion. He is going to want to start going to the door to open the door for people. So, my OMCV versus his DMCV.
And your the variable limitation. I know that you talked about the staff. How much of a penalty do you have to get with that?
One hole. So the staff is
Okay,
three.
so the
Is
staff
three.
covers.
Yep. Okay. So I don't even need to delay. Yeah, that's true. The staff should cover it. Okay. My OMCV versus his DMCV. So I have an OMCV of 6, so that's 17 minus my dice. I get a DMCV of 5.
That is a successful hit.
Fantastic. This is a 12d6 illusion of a mirage, so he's going to start basically going, start freaking out that he's disrespecting the way that his mother taught him better to be a southern gentleman, and he's going to go want to open the doors.
And what is your total on this?
I still haven't rolled my 12d6, rolling it now. This is not a body count, right? I just roll up total number for this one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This uses his ego as his defense, basically. How effective is that illusion on him?
Uh, 48 is what I got. I rolled well.
Okay.
Lots of...
That
Yeah,
that's
really
very
good.
well.
Yeah, I
Now I
rolled
just
really well.
realized that this is simply an illusionary effect. So you basically change the surroundings of him. It's not a mind control effect.
I understand that, but the surrounding is his motherly figure berating him and telling him that he should go and open the door, and he will see that the surroundings change, and it's like his house or something proper, and so that he should go open and I line the door up in his image in the mirage. And so he thinks that he has guests coming over and he should be proper, and you shouldn't have gloves, a big hulking. He sees suddenly the mitts that he's wearing, whatever gloves he's wearing, look like baseball mitts in his hand, and so he shouldn't be heading out to sports when he should be a proper young gentleman and opening a door for a lady. Sorry, that was 46, not 48. I just noticed that.
Oh, that changes it completely. His ego is so good that that 2 points was we really sold it. Okay, and that was on Chuck. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good roll. Whew.
I'm going to give the two of them a perception check on if you are doing anything. And then go ahead and take your post-segment 12s.
Okay.
Recoveries?
Yep. We are going to start off our segment 3. Why do I? Oh my gosh. That's not that word. With Aldo. I wrote the wrong name for you, Aldo.
No worries. So Ghostlight is going to quickly move over to Brett and Marshall strike him. I guess I'm going to go for an offensive strike, and Ghostlight will put his level into offense to make sure he hits, and rolled a 9.
So what is the DCV that you end up hitting with that? That should definitely be a hit.
Yeah, so that would be let me see. Hang on a second. That's 6. It's hold on, let me check. I'm a little rusty on my martial art maneuvers.
Champion is not as difficult as we're currently making it out to be once you get to throwing dice. None of us have played in a long.
I know. So it's -2.
Like,
that's what I
couldn't remember. In years.
So I'm at 4. I'm at 5. So that's a 16 OCV. So not 16 OCV. I'm sorry.
Minus 11, the 9.
Yeah.
So that's a 7 DCV.
Yeah. Remember, 11 plus OCV minus 3
no,
equals DCV.
I know how it works. I just did it. I always did it differently. I always did 11, and then I would just subtract the DCV. So that's just the way I always ran.
Yeah, I totally get that. I made a joke about the fact that I end up rusty from long spans of not playing so much that if I ever get a tattoo, I'll just get that formula tattooed on me. That way, when I get back to it, I've got it.
Yeah.
What was that again? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So yes, you Ghostlight after dropping this person into confusion and despair. Runs across, and all the people that are there bound up are kind of watching you, really not certain what the heck to think, whether you're here to save them or that suddenly there's a worse fate in store for them. And then you run around the group there and hammer in a martial strike. That is a hit. Let's go ahead and get our damage. Then why don't you describe after I tell you if he's here or Diller?
Yeah, and by the way, I should mention that I'm slotting in terms of my multi-power. I'm slotting my. Actually, this is not in the multi-power. The multi-dimensional corporeality is just on. But I guess I'm slotting the ghost shock onto this.
Okay.
Okay. So let me see. 10, 20, 12, so 32.
Okay.
8 body. And 3 dice for martial arts, right? Knockback wise? No knockback.
Okay. And you run up and give him that, and that's going to drop him out of the running for the last standing redneck. So why don't you go ahead and tell us how that looked?
Yeah, so I guess it's a palm strike to the chin. Drop him like that.
Yeah, and he drops like Diamond Jim dropping flour sacks.
Yeah, and when he strikes with the palm blast, there's also there's an electrical. I'm picturing the ghost shock to be that when you get up close to the will-o-wisp, it can sometimes arc a kind of an electrical effect. Right? I mean, it's made of light, but it has this kind of, it's more like an eldritch effect, right? It's not real electricity, but it's this kind of like like what would look like a magical light in in fiction, and so that is hitting him along with the palm strike.
Yeah, the way that I was picturing it is like you said, the it's kind of floating in your chest, and it's got those little, it's not just an orb, that there is these arcs of the
Yes.
energy, and that all of a sudden, as you go and you palm strike the guy, is that arc just travels up your arm and discharges right into his jaw.
Yeah, exactly, perfect. Yeah.
Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot to make a declaration.
Okay. And you smack him. He jolts as the energy discharges into him, and he drops. For obviously, Champions doesn't have a minion or a mook system. For the mooks like this, I'm not. If they're still up, they're going to get their recoveries. But I'm not like, oh, I'm going to bring this guy back up and
right.
Just
Don't do
screw you.
recovery on agents. Not good
Right.
idea.
Right. And so, Diamond Jim, you still have no opposition, though it's only been a short while as you're coming in. So, what are you doing?
Well, that's about what I expected. I go up to where they said where his energy buddy told him where they were, so heading that direction.
So on that, are you going to the Tyrannosaurus Rex Hall that that your two comrades in arms were going, or are you going to a different?
Where my comrades are, teamwork.
Okay. Do you, in your guys' plan, since you guys are controlling, since we don't have a specific map that we're using, is the Tyrannosaurus Rex Hall, is that going to be the first room that he runs into with the bad guys and hostages, or are there going to be others on the way to it that he?
The way I was picturing it is that we were going to be coming in from the periphery, be taking out taking out the folks that were guarding the most people. I don't know. I would imagine that there would be rooms before he got.
Okay. Jim, are you good with that?
Yeah.
All right. So you move in to a room, and there you see people in their tuxedos and such. And everybody can give me a perception check. You all get a +2 on it. It's not hard. And people on the tuxedos that are on the floor bound up and such like that.
All right, I got mine. I got mine at 10. 10 I made it by 1.
Okay, Alice?
I made it by 3.
Okay.
I made it by 6. If with a +2, I made it by 6.
Wow. Somebody's perceptive. Look at the big brain on Brad.
If we get a plus, sorry, I didn't catch if I got a +2.
Everybody got a +2, but everybody made it.
I made it by 5.
By 3.
People have been stripped of valuables that you would immediately assume at some sort of party like this that they would have on them. And so being here, you guys all do notice it. It wasn't something I thought to tell the Wisp, but also it might be something that the Wisp wouldn't care about to specifically be noticing. And so you throw open the doors to the medieval arms room and such, and you see these guys. One of them they have obviously spent some time rearranging the furniture. One of the suits of plate armor is behind another suit of plate armor that's bent over, obviously butt humping him. Just juvenile hijinks like that. Given one of them is like currently bent over one of the guys, and is obviously has been shocked by what he heard from you, but apparently was just berating him, and his arm is still pointed right at the Iron Maiden, but his mouth is just kind of open at the diatribe that was delivered earlier. and that's the scene that you're coming into, Diamond Jim. I will say that's moving in there is about a half phase of your action. So if you've
am I interrupting something? Should I come?
Do you have any action other than continuing your verbal abuse, which I love, by the way?
Well, you know what? I'll walk on over to those boys. I'm gonna make a half move. That's my half move is already.
You've already used half a move to get into this position to throw open the doors and all.
I'll just finish the movement and come right up on them.
I'm totally picturing Lord of the Rings in the Two Towers when Aragorn comes back and he throws the doors open, but instead of Aragorn, it's these overlarge doors. There's Diamond Jim. Am I interrupting something? And he just moves right up. Are you moving up to the one that's like bent over the guy apparently who was cursing him out before he got started? Or are you moving up? Okay, so you're right there when you next come up on our initiatives. And then Scarab, you were partially climbing out. One of them is all of a sudden reacting to something, and but the other one doesn't really realize you aren't complying yet.
Okay, if he's not realizing I'm not complying yet, I am going to Prison of 10,000 Scarabs him.
There you go.
This is the less painful alternative. Remember that.
Apparently, yes. Yes, it is.
He's showing mercy.
So out from the ground, as I'm still, slowly, looking, jostling the grate in front of me, oh, look, it's latched, I can't get out, kind of thing. But this one, I don't need to add any negatives to, because suddenly my eyes flicker black, and then back to blue, and she's taken over, and she's like, no more playing nice. So, my OMCV versus his... Ooh, apparently she really does believe no playing nice. I rolled a 5 on my dice. So 5...
That's a hit. As our question, is this DCV or DMC?
This should be against DCV because it's an entangle. It's a physical entangle. So it's a 5d6 entangle. Not quite as well, but I've been rolling well, so 15 is what I got. So
No. Count body.
Oh yeah, body. That's right. I forgot. 5 body.
5 body, and is it a 5 defense?
Ain't going nowhere.
Well, it's 10 PD. Sorry, 8 PD, 8 PD, 5 ED defense to start with before I roll dice.
Okay. The dice don't affect the defenses on those. That's just the body. But
yeah, it's been a while since I remembered. So
Tim is exactly correct. Is that guy is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. So
with an entangle like that.
And so when that, when Scarab takes over and says no more playing nice in her mind, you see that out of the cracks in the walls and such just crawl out these black onyx-looking scarabs, beetles just crawling and crawling until they build this complete cage around this guy. And they just climbs closer and closer. So basically they amass around him, stopping him from moving.
Diamond Jim, you are looking like the lightest of these people. As Aldo is encasing people in despair, she summons 10,000 scarabs to wrap somebody up for her.
And I'm the one they're scared of. I'm the nicest guy here. I haven't even heard anyone. I was just insulting,
Hey, I need 2 pages for my powers page, okay? It goes past one page and then into the next. Then again, that's the life of a mystic, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, especially not using a variable power pool to...
I have a variable power pool. It's just a very small one.
Alice, you have come out of the ducting system at this point?
Yes, I've jumped out at this point since my 2 guys are dealt with.
Okay. You from the far end, you hear running feet as some more of those the basic militia guys and one of the named ones show up. The basic militia guys are there because it is dramatically appropriate that they arrive together, but it is not actually their turn. The other guy shows up, and he is the one with the harness with those little like bug-like creatures that seem not active all over the harness that he's got. And he looks at you and is just kind of taken aback all of a sudden. Is that this attractive Egyptian scarab queen is there dropping scarabs and having people's grandmothers and mothers come back from the dead to berate them, and he just with kind of this look of fear in his eyes, he grabs some of these things and he takes a fling. This is going to be at a little bit of a range. The ones that you guys started with, you were pretty much right up on them, and so he's going to take a nig to his OCB because he's shooting from over 8 meters away. All right. And he chucks a couple of these things, and as they begin to fly, energy crackles between the different ones of them as he's throwing it out at you. So, 7, 16, 7. So that is. Yes, that is a DCV of 7 that he actually did hit. 9. No, wrong way. 5 that he hit because Scarab.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was to me. I apologize. You cut out just a bit. You hit me on a 5 DCV. That hits me.
5 DCV
on the dot. My DCV is 5 on the dot.
Well, it's close enough in horseshoes and hand grenades, and it will also be close enough with these little buggers.
Yes. I apologize. I was texting my father something. So I got
gotcha. We have to wish him a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of our listeners, though this won't be up in time to celebrate Father's Day by any means. And happy Father's Day to our participants who are fathers. All right. So to Ghostlight across the room, you see this is suddenly these little creatures attach themselves to her clothing in a few places and such, or her skin, and the arcing electricity continues through them. Alice, you are at this point under an entangle effect. Okay.
So Kyle Resnick, who is, the alter ego of Ghostlight, feels an unexplainable anger well up in him when he sees that. And that's because the Wisp was captured and tortured by something that looked very similar, right, in the facility. So, so he doesn't, he's not thinking about it, but he feels this almost rage come up in him as he sees that display of power, that particular display of powers.
All right. All right. And then coming in from the other end of the like I said, I'm just kind of randomizing where the different patrols were. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be towards Aldo's end, and that is where that isn't that one. That is that. The group that has the Oh. Haha. I mixed them up. All right. Alice, the group that has the rocket boots, the harness, and then 2 guys is the one that arrived at your end.
Okay.
Still wrong. I'll figure it out in just a second who the other one is, but it's got the 2 named ones. The rocket boots show up at Aldo's end.
Okay.
He has just arrived, and he seems to be propulsing through the air as his boots are letting off energy. Unlike the ones with Alice, he is not going to immediately get to attack, and his guys have not shown up yet.
Okay. Okay.
The other one with him is the one with bracers, Alice. This one shows up as well, and is similarly seeming like kind of just wowed out of his mind at all of a sudden what is going on in front of him, and that's good for him. Okay, that is the end of segment 4. We are moving on to segment 5 with Ghostlight.
Okay. I'm going to make an ego roll for Kyle Resnick to maintain control here, and he made it. So that means he'll have a choice of target as opposed to going for the guy who attacked Scarab. Now, was that the one who attacked Scarab is the harness guy, right?
Yes.
And did
at your end, you have the one with the rocket boots.
Yeah, was that Jacob?
That is Jacob.
That is Jacob. Okay. And he doesn't. His 3 guys have not shown up. You said.
No, he seems like he's probably faster using the rocket boots to fly around. When the Wisp the Wisp came through and they weren't really aware, he wasn't just flying around with the rocket.
How far away is he from Ghostlight?
Let's go ahead and say, let me check his speed real quick. That's what I thought. So he is at the you guys are like on either side of the Tyrannosaurus, and then he's at the farther end. So let's go ahead and say that's about 10
meters?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to close distance with a half move about halfway to where Ghostlight will. And how high is he?
He is staying pretty close to the ground, so basically the same as if he was walking, but...
Okay, alright. So Ghostlight will close distance, half move run to him, which will take me... How close will that put me? What's the run here? Let's see, because I know we... where's...
I think that you're 8 meters on your run now.
So at 4 meters, I'm where? I'm how far from him at that point?
6 meters at that point.
Okay. So, darn it. Darn it, that is just shy, I think. Actually, you know what? No, but I can fly to him. I don't have to run. I keep forgetting that his ghost form is not in the multi-power. So yeah, so he'll fly the distance, get within 4 meters of him, half move, and then Ghostlight will ghost flash him with a burst attack, essentially. Okay, so the light just erupts from his body, his cloak flies back and opens up. He just becomes a beacon of light for a moment and flash him.
All right, and just to any listeners who aren't super familiar, for most powers, like in most games, if you are desolidified, you really can't attack that much. Flash doesn't care about that most build ways, because I'm still perceiving light or I'm still hearing sound while I'm desolid, and so while Aldo is desolidified, he can use his flash attacks.
Okay. Cool. All right. So just roll the dice. It's an area effect.
It's an area effect, and you I don't think because you're not even trying to target like throw a fireball somewhere that you're even worrying about that DCV of 0.
Right.
So yeah, just roll the effect.
Great. Okay, hold on. Oh, one keeps getting tipped. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 body.
7 body. Okay, we are in segment 5. So at the end of segment 12 is when he's going to drop his blind.
Okay.
And yeah, go like Aldo said, he flies over there and all of a sudden just goes of a blinding flash for a moment, and the guy is he he's probably in for a little more of a world of hurt than just a normal flash since he's rocketing around. We'll deal with that on his next initiative. But throws his arms up in front of his face to try and protect himself unsuccessfully, and he's about to careen into danger. That is our only 5, so let's go to 6, and we're going to start with Diamond Jim.
All right, so I'm up on these guys now. What are they carrying?
They have large handguns similar to what you probably dealt with in the military as a standard sidearm issue, and then they've got some knives and such like that. They are definitely wearing some sort of Kevlar vest or similar to that body armor, but nothing that doesn't take go into the right sports store to pick up, basically.
All right, I'll do a I remember what it's called.
Oh, and I'm going to give you Ed and Frank, so that's 5 and 6.
Okay.
Just to keep.
I'm gonna do a sweep attack on Ed and Frank. It gives me a -2 to both rolls, but I'll use my hand-to-hand combat to offset.
Okay.
Okay, that's 10. So I hit DCV 6.
Okay, that's a solid connect on the first one.
Oh crap. Okay, I missed the other one. 17.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna hit him with 86 because I think if I go, we kill him. That'd be about accurate.
All right. I think that's a pretty good. Let's start testing the waters, and I don't think you spent a whole lot of time punching people yet.
Okay, so not bad. So that's gonna be 4 stun.
Sorry, you cut out right as you were saying.
That's 34 stun.
No, 34.
34 stun. I knew it was not just 4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 body.
Okay. And the one that was let's see the knockback on.
Okay. 10. 5 inches knockback.
Okay. So as the one and still has not recovered enough to take action after the verbal diatribe that Diamond Jim laid upon all of them.
His diatribe was pretty impressive.
I was duly impressed by it. I loved it.
Thank you.
You come in and try and sweep. And what does your sweep effect look like?
Basically, knock heads to. I missed one head.
Okay.
Okay.
And he runs up. Actually, you can go and describe it. You did take this guy out pretty hard.
All right, just basic. Well, I said two heads together, so I basically slapped him I slapped him behind the head, behind the back, and I knocked him. I basically just, hit him, shoved him, slapped him across the back really hard. So if he took any body damage, he probably got or some back surgery, and knocked him right into like brontosaurus or something.
You're in the medieval weapons.
Okay, slammed right into a medieval knight.
Okay, so he is smacks into the ones that they had one night butt humping the other, and the two plate mails collapse onto him. If anybody has a camera, I'm certain could blackmail him later for what he apparently is into.
And the flail,
everybody's got a.
And the flail hits him right in the solar plexus as he catches in his chest as he falls over.
I was.
He took 16 stun from the knockback. Took 16 stun from the knockback.
Okay, as they collapse all over him, he is knocked further down into the dirt.
Okay.
This is a fun system.
I do like it.
I've missed it. Not enough people love the system, but hopefully, we can change that.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that our actions are a little slow right now compared to what I'm used to, but a lot of it is like, firing up that engine after a long time not using it. While I can build a character pretty fluent, running the system, I've done a lot less. All right, now
when everyone's on board, it works fine.
Yeah.
When you get a bunch of people that don't want to read the damn, it takes a while.
I will agree. Though most of my players didn't ever bother reading the book, or at least not reading it entirely. They went for the things that interested them. They ended up getting pretty good at it. I was actually surprised when we were several months in, and some of them were like, "Oh yeah, I've never read that." So our despairing individual that Ghostlight has left behind, we are going to see what he can do. And he stays there just kind of cowering in his own self-worthlessness. The one with mental illusions is now begins pleading and saying, I'm sorry, Mom, I didn't know she was my sister cousin aunt. We are our viewership with people who might be into that is plummeting right now. That guy is out because 10,000 Scarabs he has nothing to do with. Ed is out. Frank gets up, looks at you, and is just completely in horrendous awe. And he is going to try to take aim and with his gun and haymaker you. So we're going to see what that looks like at the end of segment 7. And he just levels his gun, both hands on it, and he's like, "Die, you freak!"
At me, at Scarab?
No, that's Frank. That's engaged with Diamond Jim.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check that.
No, you just look like a weird cosplayer. The other two of them definitely fit what their perception of that freaky stuff is going to be.
That's true. I do look like a cosplayer, and the bugs aren't even coming out of me. The bugs are just coming out of everywhere else.
Oh, that's something that he could do. Maybe that's what I'll do when I get to him next. All right.
Fear of bugs.
So that would be a powerful psychological assault that you could do to somebody that has that psych limit. All right, Alice, on your side, they had 2. I am giving you Guillermo and Hank. See, I told you that there were Hispanic. There was a Hispanic one at least. In that group, they see you You are, however, wrapped up with the problem. They are. Go ahead and give me you're bound up, but I'm going to go ahead and use you for a presence attack on just coming in and seeing 10,000 scarabs wrapping up their buddy here. So that's going to be your presence like you
20 on the dot.
are
20
on the dot.
6,
wow.
4, 5, 4, 1. 20 on the dot.
I was going to give you a couple bonus dice, but I think that says enough as it is. They are just horrified by that, and I'm going to kick them down a couple initiatives here, simply because of that. Just my brain trying to wrap around 10,000 scarabs crawling all over somebody is pretty bad. Aldo, over on your side.
Yes.
Isaiah, Jack, and Kev are going to arrive.
Okay. All right.
Since the rocket boots were faster, they aren't getting actions. They spent 2 rounds trying to get here or something.
Okay.
And then there is Ruckus and Cuckus, as my friend used to say, coming from there. So I am going to go ahead and give Lionel and Nolan to Diamond Jim as they come to check the medieval arms area. They see what is going on, and unlike their compatriot who is up close and personal with you, haymakering you, they are simply going to try and shoot you. These guys are check out. Yep, +1. That's what I thought. So. The first one lets off a shot that flies wide of you, and to cover up, he goes, "Shoot! That diamond thing does move fast." The other one.
Grandma, she's better than you.
The other one who, if you guys remember Waterboy, I don't know, for some reason that these are exactly the two that came into my mind. The stupid rednecks in the stands, and the other guy does hit you, and so he's like, that guy ain't moving fast enough. And since these guys are just stupid thugs, handguns are, to anybody who's not familiar with champions, handguns are normally considered a killing attack. I did not give them this is a killing attack. Instead, I just converted what a handgun does over to blast, which is more what superheroes normally do. And Jim, this is going to bounce right off of your crystalline hide with an 18 and 5 body. And so, well, he squarely hits you, and puts a hole into your Luke Cage hoodie. Okay, maybe it's your muscle shirt. There is no effect on you from the gun that he just shot at you. And those guys came in from like the north and the south end. You came in from the east and are kind of in the middle of the room, and one came in from the north, one came in from the south. So they are coming from the 2 adjacent rooms, each having a hostage group of their own. That is going to bring us in 6. Scarab, you're going in 6.
Yes, I am. Finally! Okay, so I am currently entangled, but my hand is still on my staff. So
entangles restrict the use of obvious accessible
that's
foci.
True. I forgot about that.
Any accessible foci, I think.
Yeah, accessible foci. Period. So inaccessible or accessible won't work. So at that point, I have to simply teleport by adding incantation, which I've been doing anyway, and I am going to add a phase, which will come, which 3/4 plus a quarter equals 1 whole. So, El Rhea, El Rhea, El Rhea, and I start just chanting this out loud, and it's going to take an extra phase. Wait, extra segment is 1/4. Yeah,
I was
extra
just about to ask on that.
extra segment is 1/4. Extra phase is 3/4. So it's going to be an extra phase.
Okay, so you will go off right around the same time as the haymaker is going off.
Right. Sand is starting
and
to pool around my feet as I start to incant.
Now, while you are entangled, you cannot attack other things.
I'm aware of that.
Awesome. Just wanted to make certain that we weren't going to get to you in just a second here, and then you go, oh, I didn't remember that part, because it's
Nope.
an easy... I forgot that rule up
Because
until I was reading.
That's why I'm teleporting my body out of this entangle. I can teleport myself out or desolidify myself out, and until I do so...
Go ahead and make me an int roll, which you're good at. You're smart.
Yes, I am. A 1, a 2, and a 5. So that's 8, so I make it by 7.
That's what I thought, by 7. You don't have a lot of experience, obviously, but these things are kind of bit into you. The little bug-like things that he threw.
Uh-huh.
So you don't know if teleporting would leave them or not. Also, hold on, your teleport. You're not in the basement, so you cannot use.
Oh, that's true. I'm on a higher level at this point. My apologies.
No problem. Why don't you think about your action? I'm going to resolve the haymaker and then come back to you, because you have no effect on...
I already know my backup action.
Oh.
My backup action at that point is going to be might of a million legs. So scarabs that are not caging the guy right now, as more scarabs kind of flood the room, a bunch of them come to aid me, and they start prying these little bugs off of me. Bug on bug fight. This is going to be a 30 strength breakout with fine manipulation.
The people over by the scarab, by the way, are starting to freak out. The prisoners at all these cockroaches.
They're not
flying
cockroaches,
everywhere.
they're scarabs.
Sure.
Yeah,
they are giant cockroaches swollen with evil. And a bunch of them are trying to scoot away or run away, depending on how they're bound up. In a much more frantic method than the ones over by Ghostlight.
It's been a while. How many dice do I get for 30 strength?
6 dice.
Thank you.
And that's also going to be using the same, so it's finishing off next round.
No, this has no activation. This is only in heroic ID negative.
Oh, gotcha.
This is Scarab taking over and going, you can't get yourself out. 6, 6, 6, 4, 3, 1. So that's 26.
So count your bot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 body.
Okay.
6s are 2s, as I remember, right? 2 body?
Yes.
Awesome.
6s are 2, 1 is
0,
nothing,
yeah.
and
1 is nothing,
2 to 5.
Yep, I have it right.
All right. That was not a casual application of your telekinesis, but these bugs that just start climbing up on you or dropping off of the Tyrannosaurus's tail and such, anywhere that nobody is looking or is cracked and shadowy, they can come up, and they do pry those other bugs off of you. Okay. And they fall to the ground, and as they fall, they stop producing that electricity anymore. And so that was you. Now I've got a haymaker. Let me see how this goes. And once again, we flash back over to Diamond Jim in the medieval arms and armor exhibit, and the guy screaming, "Die, you freak!" He does move fast! Let's see. Oh, he might hit. That is a DCV 5 on the...
Yep.
Okay.
I might be rusty, but it seems I still have a decent understanding of the system. I had my backup already set up.
Ooh, this roll is looking good. There is nothing below a 4 in it. So, let me see if I can get some Diamond Gem, a little piece of Diamond Gem here. So that is 30, that is 42, that is 52.
Ow.
On that, right? That's a big difference from where I was before.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 body, which I think that you're shrugging off without any worries.
Yeah, I'm shrugging that off. Yeah.
But I think you actually felt that, which might be the first thing that you've been really hit by that you've probably felt since you were in a bit of a fracas in the swamp where the explosions happened. So maybe that's not true, but you know, the guy this guy's obviously a little better at shooting and got you a pretty good center mass, and even then his bullet was able to punch into you and knocked a little bit of wind out of you, but not too much. I guess wind isn't appropriate because, well, you don't breathe anymore. That's 7. Let's go on to 8, where we're starting with Ghostlight again.
How about it chipped some diamonds off him?
There we go. There's stone skin material component waiting for someone to use right there.
Awesome.
A little bit
I'll
of
have to
diamond
pick
dust.
it up.
Oh, thank you very much, honey. Love you too.
All right, Ghostlight. The guy with the rocket boots still has not gotten an action since you went. Your speed is better than his, and so he is still somehow in the magical way of comic book physics, still there, waiting for you to deliver another blow. But he is blinded, which I think cuts his DCV in
by half, I believe, right?
That's my memory of it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to work with Martial Ghost Shock. Let's see. I rolled a 12, so let's do the math here really quick.
That's definitely going to hit.
Okay, all right. 3, 6, 7. All right, let's see. So that's 10, 20. It's 30 even.
30 even. Okay. So you keep making this guy's day a bad day.
Level into DCV way, but it's worth.
Okay. You knock him. You knock the wind out of him, and let's just. He's not quite next, but since you have done this and his rocket boots are going, you have done enough damage to stun him. Let's go ahead and resolve that. What is he going to be crashing into in this? Because that's the inevitable conclusion here.
Yeah.
So what is he going to crash into here, Aldo?
Well, the dramatic but unfortunate thing would be the T-Rex skeleton.
I do agree with that.
Oh, God.
And then the question, of course, is going to be: is he able to knock the T-Rex, or does he take full?
Does the T-Rex tail impale him up where the sun don't shine?
Okay, what do I got here? I've got 9, 13, 14, 20, 28 he impacts for.
Nice.
Yeah, right? And so, knockback, I count my body, and then I have to roll 3d6 because that I basically, used a martial maneuver to simulate. And so I want to roll under the amount of body that I generated, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
I believe so, yes.
That is correct.
So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 body. This is not looking good, and it's 3d6 because he's flying. Or no, 3d6 because he's marshaling. Yep. So
But it's
he
actually
does.
minus 1 because he's flying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
So
you're
it's
flying,
actually
you
2d6.
make it's harder, so you drop a die.
Yes,
It's easier. Yeah.
It's easier to knock a flyer back.
Right.
He does not budge this T-Rex, and he crashes out. The T-Rex, he impacts the ankle of the creature up on its dais. He is not able to move it, and he knocks himself out after Ghostlight showed him what for a few times.
Nice. So he's knocked out. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Now someone just needs to activate an entangle and have the mouthpiece of the T-Rex as the head drop down and engage him.
Oh, Dogen!
Exactly. Hodoken hit the head off and entangle the guy as the jaw comes down and entangles him. That'd be a fun little image. Come on, that would totally be in the comic book.
Okay, then. So after we have Ghostlight finishing up, we have him. She has pulled off all of these bugs. Did you want to use a presence attack just with your normal presence, Alice, as you finish pulling that off?
Yeah, I'd love to.
And you guys can, by all means, when you do something cool, and I was just realizing Ghostlight might try the same thing as these guys are coming at him.
24.
We'll get to that.
I feel like I should. I can't get my camera there, but yeah, 24. 66552.
Do I need to start watching your dice rolls, Alice? Is that what you're telling me?
I was failing pretty bad earlier, so I guess it's kind of fair that I'm doing better now. Scarab likes these dice.
And I'm going to say that's against the specific one that threw them for you, just because you've already gotten a pretty good presence attack on the other gentleman that showed up because they were like, oh my god, bugs, that's
I'm
gross.
Scary.
Apparently you are. Teenage girls are scary, and that is actually a comic book fact. Most teenage girl characters, I think they specifically try and make scary in some way or another. Kitty Pryde didn't start off that way, and then she got ninja demon training. And
yes.
All right. He is like, and remember, this one is the youngest of the ones here. He's a 15-year-old. Unlike the rest of them that are in their later teens or early 20s. And he is just like in wide-eyed disbelief, having you just pulled all that stuff off. I think you were about to say something, so go ahead.
Nope, I wasn't.
Okay, I thought I heard you.
I'm gonna be right back, though.
And he is at that point going to just. Obviously, what his stuff off the harness isn't working. He goes for his gun, and he has been removed down to a half phase, so that's all that he is going to get. Aldo, why don't you go ahead and give me a presence attack? You have a couple of guys coming at you.
3 guys coming in on me, I think.
Yeah.
And do I get a violent action and power display bonuses?
Violent action. I would say with knocking him out with a Tyrannosaurus, I'll give you the extremely violent for the 2d6.
All right.
And if you've got anything good to say at this point, any good comic book one-liners, you can get soliloquy bonuses by all means.
Man. I don't have anything right now. I didn't think of
it. I just wasn't prepared for this. I'm sorry. I'm doing it off the cuff.
Well, you can go with, they told me I need to say a pun.
No.
Pun.
How about? Is there still the bonus for displaying power?
I'll give you that, especially because that's very unheard of at the moment.
But I don't know if there's also a minus for being in combat. Remember,
there is, but I'm not gonna worry about that because this seems like a very combat appropriate one, and this is the mooked.
Okie doke. All right, so here goes.
And yes, exhibiting a power or superior technology is there.
Okay. 22.
22. Okay, they are definitely taken aback. Oh, and this against the thug, so I know what their presence is. For some reason, I closed that page. All right, that's what I thought. The ones that are coming out and getting ready for you are definitely you've got 3 of the unnamed ones, though they have names. Isaiah, Jack, and Kev.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't have any cool superhero names. And they are totally taken aback. They're still gonna get their actions, but they go slower. I don't know if that will put them after Scarab, so I don't know if she's gonna do anything to them or not.
Okay.
Aye. So that was.
Well, if looking at me didn't make them pee in their pants, I'll do something to them.
All right, we are entering segment 12 here. Ghostlight, you once again get to go again.
Oh, did I go on 9?
Oh, hold on, no, that was 8. We were on 8.
So we have 9.
So,
yeah, I was very surprised because I'm like, I have 9 and 12.
Yeah, no, let me continue. That was that guy on 8. Okay. Into the hall, Tim Connors and Karen Tellerman come in on the center. Alice is the one that's closer to the center, so I'm going to make them interacting with her. Bad day for Lala. And Tim Connors comes in, and he's got these electrified gauntlet type things. Reasonably attractive young African American male, and he just sees you and he's like, oh, we gonna go, and he smashes his fists together and all this electrical energy just kind of crackles off of itself.
Can I hero point right now for something?
After his action, maybe.
Okay.
And he is going to run up over to you and end his action.
Okay.
That's all that he's got is getting.
Well,
did you?
I'm not going to hero point just yet. Then I'll just use my actual action on 9, hopefully.
All right, and after clashing his fists together, he is got that electricity just kind of running all over his body at the moment. And then we will move. And
cartoon Bionic 6.
If I saw a picture, I very well may.
Yeah, anyway, it just popped into my mind, but
one that I always remember just randomly is one that I think it was Starhawks back in the 1980s.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't watch it that I knew at the time, and I've brought it up a few times, and some people get it, but others don't. No, I don't think that I know Bionic 6, at least not based off pictures. But that was always one that I thought was cool.
May I make a request? Since Diamond Jim and I both go on 9, would it be possible for me to go before Diamond Jim? I have a line for him.
Diamond Jim is in a totally different encounter.
I know, but he can hear me where he is, right? I hope.
Nope, not really.
Okay, darn it.
If you shout like he did when he came in. I'm planning on
shouting as loud as I can. I have a line.
That will be up to Diamond Jim. I will. He could delay by all means. All right. Karen is looks at you, and her eyes just kind of glow with this malevolence. Not actual glows, just that malevolent intent as she goes, "Oh, I've been waiting to try this out on somebody." And she, her energy rifle, she pulls the switch that makes that firing up sound in it, and drops to aim at you, and lets off a blast from this thing. The energy is more like a distortion wave through the air, and these the scarabs that are crawling on you after having peeled off that entangle and such are just kind of shriek and such and fall off, and then, like we all know, bugs will land on their backs when they're dead, and then their legs will give that final little gasp out and such, and they do this, and
My bugs are dead. No.
And she is going to use this one. Oh! Trying to pick which power she's firing off. My babies, my babies.
The one that misses.
More. You killed Anthony! Alright, yeah, that does seem like what she is going to fire off. And it fires off in this big wave, and the prisoners that were trying to get shriek in pain as this beam passes over them. And it comes and...
Can I hero point for something to interrupt this as I see it coming?
Can you normally do that? Is going to be...
I believe you can take an action out of turn normally in the Mutants Mastermind system, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I think that you can get an extra action on your turn, I believe, through the extra effort. What are you trying to do?
I am trying to protect the people that are the people behind me. I'm willing to take the blow, but I'm basically going to Scarab's going to put up a wall of scarabs to protect the people behind me.
I believe that you can abort to barriers.
Okay, I'm going to abort to a barrier, and if I can cover myself as well, I will do so. If I can't, my primary target is to protect everyone behind me. That is my primary. And since I'm taking an action now and aborting, I'm going to call out the top of my lungs. Hey, Diamond Jim! Diamond's our gal's best friend, so, show up!
Alright, and tell us about your barrier here, Alice.
Okay, so the scarabs that were crawling all over me suddenly build up a wall in front of this beam. They just start climbing on top of each other and growing and growing and growing. And this barrier is, I have a total of 7 PD, 5 ED, 5 body on this barrier. It is going to be 12 meters long by 4 meters tall, and it is reshapeable. So if I need to reshape this to a different degree, I can. But suddenly this 12 meter long, 4 meter tall wall comes up, and I can basically reshape it to the way I want it. It is completely opaque because it is a wall of scarabs stacked on top of each other. This is why it's configurable, because I can tell them, move here, move there. But I thought, Diamond's gal's best friend was a pretty decent Liberty call there. Call in for my break.
Alright, the beam, we can look this up later. Unless somebody's got a solid answer, but you're actually dealing with something that is a mental attack, and that is going to be stopping the physical and energy.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that that's ripping right through.
So I see it rip right through, okay?
Yeah, and wherever that beam hits, your bugs are just like falling off, and you're getting this stack. It's a pile of barred bugs that maybe somebody can hide behind later on.
Do they require sight on their target? Because if so, they no longer have sight. So
Well, it's an area effect, and she just ripped through
that's fine.
and gets the DCV needed.
That's fine.
So this will be your mental defense that it is applying against, which she's picking on the wrong girl
Yep.
for effect on that. So she's did pretty well though. That's a 16 against your mental defense. So you feel that as your body is just racked with this strong agony.
My DMCV is 6.
It wasn't against your DMCV.
Oh, okay.
And so she just rips into you with this area effect and some of the hostages that were in your area and a bunch of the bugs and such.
Okay.
And after that one, going to him, which I've got them in order. I don't need to reference my chart there.
9.
We're still in 8. I jumped from all those action at 8 to all those action at 10, and then we realized that no, you're totally wrong, Brandon. And yeah, he is going to do similar to what you did. That entangle that you've got, which this probably won't do much, but this guy is going to attempt to address it. So the one with the bracers, where that was like a distortion wave of energy, he aims his bracers, and it's more just a consistent, like almost a prism of energy that you can see is there, comes out. And he is going to go ahead and try and help remove that with this. You remember... Oh, no, I got it right there. And he is able to throw bugs around and such. The bugs just keep swarming over the militia member that you've got in that. That was the last of 8. Now we are moving on to 9. So, Diamond Jim.
Well, do I hear her?
Oh, sure.
What?
Yes.
Diamonds are a gal's best friend.
Brandon, do I hear her?
Yeah, he said yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I not coming?
You came through. I heard you.
Yeah, you cut out again. How far is she from me?
If they're still in the same room that you saw on the map, you're in the medieval armor exhibit. Next door to you is let's say some sort of Western art and artifacts, and then you go to dinosaurs, because the medieval armor and dinosaurs should only be separated by Westerns.
So is she close enough for me to do a half move, or do I have to?
It's probably going to be more than just a single round of movement. What's your movement rate?
Leaping is 24, 12 meters upward.
Leaping, it's going to be hard to do in some of these rooms, so you're probably going to be reduced to smaller leaps or your running speed. So yeah, definitely, you'd have to get through this exhibit and on to the next. I'll get you. You can get to the door, which has one of the bad guys that was just shooting at you on the north, we'll say, exit of this room with a half phase, and you can get halfway into through the next exhibit with another half phase. But they would be.
Okay, well, I gotta get to her, but I should take out this guy that shot. Is that the guy that did the haymaker
Yeah, that's the guy that's standing next to you. Literally did not move and was just like, "Die, you freak!"
I'll be with you in a minute. I got a mess over here. So I'm gonna punch this moron who did the haymaker on me. And I'm gonna make sure I hit. So I'm gonna do +2 with hand to hand.
Okay. So let's show Frank what it means to get punched by that.
So 12 with a 7, I hit DCV 6.
DCV 6 is a miss. Is all of a sudden he's jumping away from getting touched by you.
Oh, okay, that's impressive.
Abort to dodge.
Okay.
All right.
At least you're stopping action.
As soon as I can.
All right, that was Diamond Jim on 9, Scarab 9.
Scarab had to abort on 8 to a barrier, so she doesn't get 9.
Okay, Ghost Light, you have 2 in a row, I'll tell you.
All right. So I've got Isaiah, Jack, and Kev next to me, right?
I don't think they're next to you. I think they're, within a half move of you at this point.
Yeah.
They were just coming in.
They were just coming in. Okay. And then on the other side of the room, we have Scarab fighting a couple of people, right?
Yeah, let's, just look at your monitor. Let's say that box is, the hall. Over here on the left side of your monitor, that's the area that you're fighting in. Yeah. Over on the right is where she's fighting, and they came in on the middle south, the middle bottom.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to try to incapacitate these 3 so that I can freely make my way over to her. And so Ghostlight will do that by moving up to them and flashing them with the burst.
Okay. And so, having looked for Karen, it does look like you want to be able to attack, and so it is that you're trying to basically get the DCV of 3. That we can look that up and see if that's right or wrong later on, but that's what we're going to go with for the moment on the area.
Sure.
DCV
sure.
is pretty easy.
All right. So rolled a 10, so that definitely hits DCV 3. And then rolling 1, 2, 3, 4 body.
Okay, this is on 10, so 11, 12, so let's say on 2. Go ahead and give me body on the next one.
Roll for each individual?
Yeah.
Okay. 1. Oh, I rolled really bad. It's only 2 body on this one.
2 body, okay.
And the third one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 body.
Okay. Got that all recorded. And then go ahead and take your next action, because at the top of 12, we have...
Yep. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go desolid and fly towards Scarab, or rather, I'm going to go desolid and go under the fly under into the floor and try to come up behind Karen, let's say.
Okay.
And she's probably too. I'm not sure, but she might be too far for me to reach her this round.
18 meters is your flight. Is that?
I think it's 20 meters.
I could be wrong. I put it at 20, I know, and then I thought I saw a version of that was 18. But either way, I think it would cost the same because it's in the multi-power.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and say it'll probably take a full move this round, and then a half move during your next phase to do the go down and come.
Totally fair. So that's what he's up to.
All right, Diamond Jim. This guy, he is still in the dodge benefit because he hasn't gone since you. He has not had a lost action since you went. It is up to you on.
Well, I'll just try to hit him. I use levels to hit. Maybe I'll just roll good enough. Well, that's a 6 I rolled.
That would sound like a hit because we're at DCV of 5 even before we start counting what your pluses.
And you know what? I'm going to hit this guy with 96 because he hurt me.
You are still being a gentleman to him after he chipped you.
Whoa, not terrible. Not too great either. 32 stun. And 8 body.
So, die you freak, shoots you with the haymaker pistol shot. You take it a little personal and decide to give him a playful swat. He's like, "Don't touch me, you dirty thing!" And he jumps out of the way. And then he's like, "Ha ha! I got out of the way." And he looks back at the two rednecks from the water boy. He's like, "Look at me!" And then you just kind of bap him on the back of the head, and he just collapses. Oh yeah, look at you, all right. Can't even deal with some freak like that.
Yeah.
Yep, he is out. He dropped. We are into our opponents, which all basically go in one big batch right here.
I can't move, right?
As I remember, attacking is the end of your phase.
Okay, just making sure.
If anybody's got a difference on that, that is great.
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, cool. What all do I have got for him? Oh, that's right. He went and he pulled his gun. And so this wall of bugs, once again, kind of breaking up the battlefield that you and Aldo are in, Alice, into our monitors. It would be not quite bisecting the middle, but around there on a diagonal where the other guys are on the other side with you, so they are protected by this wall of bugs from Karen. And so you're like, nope, now you guys are trapped in here with me and 10,000 scarabs that I will continue to put on you. He has grabbed his gun and he is going to go ahead and shoot at you, but he doesn't have he seems more like he's kind of acting on protective instinct and nervous about it because he's got one eye closed and he's turning away, doesn't want to see somebody splattered out with a gun. So let's go ahead and try him on that. Don't pick up a D6 per OCV. That would be silly. DCV of 6 is what he has. DCV of 4 is what he has because he was at range and has never moved. That I know is going to miss you, Alice.
Yes.
Yep.
DCV of 4, you said?
DCV of 4 because he is still at range, which I was giving them.
Yep, DCV of 4 is a miss.
He shoots and it smacks into Tim, who's up in your face, and he just gives the guy a glare and he goes, "Zaps, when I am done with this, beep, I am coming for you." And so Tim is going to take a swing at you. All right. He is going to put his combat skill level into his OCV. Ooh, not a good roll for him. He has a DCV of 4 as well. Lucky number 4 for Alice, apparently.
Yep, it sounds like it.
At this point, she's not exactly certain where she's firing. And so Let's see what else she's. So I'm going to say that she is going to use that rifle and will destroy the barrier with it. Basically, before when it ripped through the barrier, that was more of a side effect of the fact that it's not protecting against the attack. But the fact that your barrier is made of bugs, it would be applicable for mental attacks to disrupt it. And
yeah, I
all.
get that. Totally fine.
And so she'll basically spend her round destroying this wall of bugs. A bunch of the hostages have scrambled, either getting up and running if they're able to with their hands tied behind their backs, or doing a three-legged relay, or just kind of butt crawling, moving away as best as they can. Well, they're not too far from you. The immediate area of your fight is not engaged with them.
And that's it for this evening, everyone. So thank you for listening to our episode. We hope you tune in next time for the next installment. Bye.
Bye.
Say goodnight, Gracie.